Hey, welcome to our St. Paddy's Day Irish Drinking Fight Fest. I'm Shag Dog, and I got my good buddy JammerFan with me.
Well, hey, man, sometimes when you're doing a flight fest for St. Paddy's Day, one of the biggest drinking days we've got of the year, you just need a wingman every once in a while, right? Especially if you're looking to make like a YouTube clip of embarrassing shit. Let's do this. Woo!
Hey, I'm drinking Murphy's Irish Stout. I was about to do a shot of Jameson whiskey, but JammerFan popped in, hey, let me in. So I figured I'd switched it to a full beer.
Yeah, switch gears, go for the Jameson. All right, yeah.
Oh, and this gets a Beer Advocate score of 85, Irish Dry Stout, and it's 4% ABV, very low.
Should I talk about mine? Did I make it into the title, or is this just Shag Dog's?
Is that the Rouge Imperial?
Yeah, Rouge Imperial IPA.
Yep, got it on the title.
All right. Yeah. All right. Let me show her. Let's take a little. There's very little info on the can. In fact, it doesn't even say, like, they're being tongue in cheek, but it just says Imperial IPA, and then it just has the rest of the label is just their look. Check it out. It's just their dead guy icon that they use for their.
Yeah, I've seen that one before. I never had that one. I don't believe though. So
this is what Rogue Dead Guy Ale looks like. A lot of their beers just have this, but the Imperial IPA, I think I looked it up. You have to back me up, Shag Dog. Go on Beer Advocate, check it out. I think you're gonna find that this beer has only been around for a limited time only. It's maybe been around for a couple of months. This is a newer beer, but they low key rolled it out. It's not something that you see a lot. And my local beer guy at my beer store said he hasn't really seen it much until recently. So shrouded in a mystery, I guess under Donald J. Trump, we're all going to end up like the dead guy as pictured here. Like, there's a lot of death going to be happening in America. You'd love to see it. You'd love to see it.
Yeah, that's weird. That one's not coming up. I'm just getting a dead guy Imperial IPA coming up. Is that what that is?
Yeah, it's made by Rogue though. Like Dead Guy IPA is not a brewery. I mean, it's made by Rogue. It's
right. What's the name of it again? Dead Guy Imperial IPA or
yeah. So it's not. So take the Dead Guy out. It's called Rogue Imperial IPA. Dead Guy is not a part of it. But Dead Guy is their flagship. So think of Dead Guy as like the fat tire of Rogue. Like it's their flagship, or whatever flagship, like think of a microbrewery and think of their flagship. That's what Dead Guy is. This is just merely called Rogue Imperial IPA. If you just do that, you'll find it.
Yeah, it's not a Beer Advocate.
Yeah, it's not. It's like crazy new. It's new. It just came out. Like my guy said, this is like new.
Yeah.
Well, I can tell you what it's like. I got one.
Yeah. The only thing coming up there is that Dead Guy Imperial IPA.
Well, you're talking to a guy who just got.
Well, the can looks just the same on what they're showing on.
Yeah, I don't know, dude. All I know is that it's weird. Here's the can. I'll rotate it for you. It just at the top. There's no mention of Rogue anywhere on the can unless I go into the tiny, like so. Here's the tiny print. See the Rogue there?
Yeah, good.
But other than that, it's just
what's the ABV on that?
9.6.
Yeah, that's what it's showing on Beer Advocate, but it shows it's called Dead Guy Imperial Ale and the same can.
Well, what do they say about it?
Who knows, right?
Yeah, what do they say about it?
Dead Guy Imperial is enormous. Nothing. But the picture is showing almost same as that. Same little.
All right. Well, then we'll just go off that. Yeah, we'll just say that it's probably the same then. I hate when somebody's all vague about they're trying to do something artistic and then it causes a thing. Well, you saw that it's a real beer, right? And that it exists in the world, so you know about it. All right.
Yeah.
I guess I'll just have to tell our viewers. Maybe this can I guess every can of beer, because the way beer is affected by the environment, like vibrations, temperature changes, whatever, we're all kind of like every time we open a beer, it's a truly unique experience, correct?
Yeah, humidity, air pressure,
Yeah,
barometric
yeah.
pressure, all that kind of stuff.
And then our own individual way we perceive it, you add all that in, which
And
includes our history,
hormones, endorphins, all that kind of stuff.
our emotional and historical history, our ancestors, our genetic lineage, even.
Right. DNA.
D in fucking A. That sounds like dick in the ass. D in fucking A. And I remember you telling I remember back in the early days of Spit and Swallow Beer Review, you talking about, you were like, oh yeah, I fucked this so and so in the ass or whatever. You were really proud of it. It was an achievement. I remember back then, Shag Dog. I remember you were like, oh yeah. I met Jammer. We were at the bowling alley and we were just buddies, and then we became friends. And oh yeah, I also fucked a lot of chicks in the ass that were at the bowling alley. and even now, you're like, yeah, I did. You're like, it's just like, and I really hope that Google selects this as a clip. That's perfect.
You should have said that now. It won't, because you cut it off.
I want to see the text on top that says "dick in ass." Like, that's probably where it's gonna cut it off, right? That's gonna be the end of video. It's gonna and ass will be probably censored out. It's gonna go dick in, little.
I know you want all these special clips, and I could actually I manually go in there and make them actually, but.
Okay. Well, I just served one up for you, and Julia said, don't do any dick and ass clips, and I'm like, I'm going straight for the ass, right for the old glory hole.
You should take the old song "Dick in a Box" and change it to "Dick in the Ass." Dick in. Okay.
Yeah.
But what I've been trying to do because of that automatic thing, because it's not perfect on there, it might show 5 or 6 videos sometimes, and they suck. It's like, like we talk about one little thing like that, and it still shows all this stuff in there, and you can't edit it unless I download it and then edit it manually. But what I've been trying to think of doing is doing the beer review. Get done with the beer. Get through the beer real quick, grade it, score it, all that, then start doing stuff. Like little subjects. Right. Put subjects down, and if you want to do dick in the ass and. Broccoli, big balls, broccoli head. I'm just going off what I see in the world. I don't want big balls broccoli. You should tell Trump to stop hiring big balls and broccoli. I haven't seen anybody ask him about big balls and broccoli, but I'm hoping somebody does.
I mean, the kid, so he has a real name and it's published out there.
Yeah.
I don't want to name drop him here, because I'm not,
I name dropped him on the last one.
All right. Well, that's enough. I mean, he's probably just a kid who's like, the president wants me to imagine if you're like some computer whiz and, your name just happens to be Broccoli Big Balls. And you're like, whoa, the president wants me to, his name could have been Unicorn Titty shit, and it'd be the same thing. It'd be the same conundrum. Right. So, yeah, he just, yeah.
Hey, back to the beer. Yeah,
tell me about Murphy Stout.
I'm sure you've had this before. It's a smooth, easy drinking stout, low ABV, 4%. This one's more creamier, I think, than Guinness. It's more of a creamy mouthfeel. I like it. It's slightly malty, very watery, but it's got a little nice malty distinctness to it. Creamy, and it goes down nice and smooth and easy. I give it a A- and a SWAF for basically a light drinking dry stout, Irish dry stout.
That was great. I just think it was too fast. I didn't get to
enjoy it.
No, fully understand. You kind of speed ran that shit, but yeah,
that's
dude.
That's what I try to do when you're on here, so we get back to your stories.
Well, no, I said 20 minutes, not 20 seconds. I got some time, and I can add a couple of minutes onto it. So it's like you've had random times that you've done beer reviews lately, so it's just like I see you live, and I'm like, just like, oh, I'll shoot a message to him and harass him about just sending me a link. And I'm just like, I imagine me just doing everyday life and then having to stop and then drink alcohol and do a review. It's just I'm doing the best I can, man. I'm not trying to bust your balls, dude.
Hey, oh no! Imagine we had 2 viewers earlier. Probably one of them might have been bad. He feels he's like, oh, it's the weekend. You can't drink because it's family time for Jammer on the weekends, for one thing. Plus, he's not having any major health issues, but he's like, he did the beer review last week, but he said he's trying to cut down for a little bit, get his weight down a little bit. So he said probably about another 4 or 5 weeks be the next time he's on. He's trying to lose weight and eat healthy or whatever, doing a fast or whatever he's doing.
So check it out. I the other day at the store, because they were on sale, I got some non-alcoholic IPAs and some non-alcoholic lagers I have in the fridge, so I can still do a review but not drink alcohol. And they're both brands, so I got Deschutes and Heineken. They both have really good. And it's funny, the other day I did the alcoholic versions, so I could do the non-alcoholic versions as like a comparison series. But there's a lot of good non-alcoholic brews out there, dude.
Yeah, I just don't like them because they don't have alcohol in them.
Well, of course, I mean, I get that. I'm just saying that if I want to come on and not drink, I can still come on and talk and shoot the shit and drink something that,
Hey, you come on with hot cocoa if you want.
Sure, but it's cool to come on with like a beer. You know what I mean? Because it's a spit or swallow beer review. Not fucking, I'm not just going to come on drinking fucking, I mean,
they have a non-alcoholic whiskey. They have a non-alcoholic whiskey.
Just take a shot of maple syrup at that fucking point. You want something barrel aged and sweet that's non-alcoholic? So in my opinion, beer is the only beverage that works as non-alcoholic because it has the hops and the malt and everything. Think about anything else like wine. Just go drink grape juice if that's the case, right?
Right. Or sparkling grape juice. Yeah.
Sparkling grape juice. Go get some sparkling grape juice. If you want whiskey is basically mostly alcohol, and all that's left is a woody kind of grain taste. Get a cream soda. Get a vanilla cream soda, and you're right where a whiskey would be with the sugar added. All I'm saying is I think that like quitting alcohol and limiting things are great, and I'm going to be working in some non-alcoholic beers, and I like it. I'm going to,
that's good.
That's not happening today, though.
Are they expensive?
Yeah, they're like double the fucking price of normal beer, the craft ones. But I'll be bringing some craft ones on here, dude. I have fresh non-squeezed. You've heard of fresh squeezed Deschutes? I have like fresh non-squeezed, and it's like the same logo, but it's non-alcoholic. And I have also Heineken 00. I got it for $5.99 a 6-pack. It's good until May 12th.
So
it's not. I tried one, yeah.
Pretty good. Tastes like Heineken.
I mean, it's not even 0. It's not even 0.5 or less. It's 00. Yeah, dude. Wow. But I will say it says brewed with natural flavors. So they basically, I think they kind of made like a sparkling water. So the IPA is one of the. So if you see one that says 0.5% or less, I feel like that's like a real beer still.
Are you sure it's 00? Because I know Guinness promoted theirs as 00 or something,
but it says less than 0.05. Yeah, I think they can go. I think they can still have a trace amount. I think they're allowed to have 0.05. So 0.5 is the regular level, but then 0.05 is the level for completely 00.
Yeah, they call it 0 now. They change it to 0 from 0.0 to Guinness one to just 0.
Yeah, I know. I think it does. Yeah, I think it does contain some. I've always wondered that when I've seen their label because it seems like it still contains alcohol, but they're saying that it doesn't.
0.05. The Guinness 0.05, but somebody tried to sue them because it says 0.0.
All right. Yeah.
So, yeah, people are, I'm going to sue you. It's got 0.05 in it. You're saying 0.05.
I think that's more like, so let me put it this way. People have told me that so if you have a hamburger bun, for instance, it has the hamburger bun has 3 times the alcohol in it of a non-alcoholic beer at 0.5 or less,
Oh, really?
because the yeast and a ripe banana, orange juice that's been in your fridge too long, mouthwash. They're like, people are listing off things that have way more alcohol in your everyday life than even the 0.5 stuff. So I think I honestly think it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
When I see a non-alcoholic beer, I know it's so low in alcohol, and they're not trying to make it almost 0.5. Most 0.5 is more like 0.3 or 0.4. They just don't qualify. They just don't qualify for the
I got buzzed off a couple of those before. One time, about 2003 or 2004, I had to work at night. And Jammer and our good buddy Chaz were out doing karaoke. Like, come on out. I was like, I got to work at 11. Yeah, come on out. Hang out with us till you got to go to work. And I'm like sitting there. I'm like, let me drink some of those little O'Douls. So, 0.05, I think. But I don't know if they sell that kind anymore. But I drank about 5 or 6 of them and had to go to work. And I felt buzzed while I was driving. I was like, oh, my God. I had fun. But I think I was more sick than, buzzed or whatever.
So they call that the there's in Colorado they call it like miner's flu. It's basically, so for a while they had something. Have you ever heard of 3-2 beer? There's some states that would only let, like at grocery stores, they would have to sell.
Yeah, they sold that in the Army when I was in the Army in basic training or AIT.
It's not quite like not the non-alcoholic. It's stronger than the non-alcoholic stuff, but at 3.2%. I mean, it's hard to get, like, that keeps the troops from getting hungover, right? Because they're mostly just getting water.
Yeah.
So, yeah. They call it the 3-2 flu. There we go.
3-2 flu. Yeah.
The 3-2 flu. And I think that goes over to non-alcoholic because technically the guy online drank 60 non-alcoholic beers in 2 hours, and he had a cop there breathalyzing him on YouTube the entire time or whatever, and he never once went over, like never once even registered on it. He was 0.0, like, or the whole time. He may have been 0.0001, but it wasn't enough to show up on a breathalyzer.
Oh, excuse me. Yeah. I drank.
So they're saying that what happened to you, Shag Dog, was a placebo effect. That everything you felt had nothing to do. But you know why? You know what happens? And this makes sense. Your brain tasted the lager and the yeast and the hops, and it just released the normal chemicals that it would if you had drank. If that makes sense.
And I'm thinking, well, I had 5 or 6 of them. They
taste like beer, and it just released the same dopamine, and that wouldn't last over time. You couldn't keep tricking your brain over time, but that one time it was just boom, it released all that shit, and you're like, phew.
Right. I think it's probably a little bit of anxiety there too. Wow, I drank 6 of them. Am I okay? Because it's like beer, even though there's hardly any alcohol. Yeah. I think your mind plays tricks on you or whatever.
It does. I actually get a buzz from non-alcoholic beers. They say it's impossible. I think part of it is the hops and the other stuff in it. Like, beer isn't just alcohol,
Yeah, I think it's placeable. Because it tastes a little bit like beer or kind of like beer, and you're chugging them or you're drinking 4 or 5, and you're like, wow, I just drank 4 or 5 beers technically.
Yeah, it does something. But yeah.
Yeah, good times. Yeah, they used to have one. Coors used to have one back in the old days too. What the hell is it? Coors Sharps, or something like that. It's pretty good.
One second.
Coors Sharp. Yeah. All right.
What?
You dying? Oh.
Yeah. 1 second.
All right. Hey, I still got beer in this can. JammerFan's gone. He's got the cough for some reason. Got that chronic cough. He should be back. Maybe he might not. Because usually when JammerFan, when he disappears like this, sometimes I don't see him for months. All right, let's finish that. I give this a A- and a swallow and a half. Murphy's pretty good. There he is. He's back. He's back.
I am cool now. I'm sorry. I was eating plant-based. So my girlfriend's plant-based, and she has, and it tastes like real jerky. I was eating plant-based beef jerky, but it's made of soy, and it's got these like little stringy pieces that get stuck in your teeth. And I had one that was kind of like dangling in my throat, and it was triggering that gag reflex. And I just started like, I didn't want to like barf on camera. I didn't know what was going to happen. I flossed. I had to get some emergency dental floss and like kind of floss it out. It's the dangers of going vegan, Shag Dog. Dangers of going vegan.
I read something the other day that they say some of that plant-based chicken or some of that stuff is not healthy or something. That's why I read some article about it. But the plant-based meat, there's something wrong with it. It's probably Soylent Green.
And I mean, honestly, I know a lot about this realm of things because of just my situation. It's what they're talking about is it just being, there's like, if you're a man, you shouldn't eat soy for every meal. So if you're going to eat plant-based, it's a bad idea to like eat a fake. So they also have a lot of sodium. So a plant-based burger will have way more sodium than a burger, just a beef burger. But people season the burger and they put ketchup and mustard and cheese and a salty bun and all this other stuff. So,
hey, you only live once, so enjoy.
I know, but what I'm saying is that a plain veggie burger is basically the same amount of sodium as a loaded, like regular burger that's loaded up with everything.
Yeah.
So
and it doesn't have the red beef or whatever.
Sure. But I'm just saying, from just the sodium angle, you're getting about the same.
That's a lot of sodium.
It's not as fun though, because you're just getting like a plain burger, a plain veggie burger on a bun. You're like, oh, this sucks.
You probably just should, for to get the less sodium, probably just get some eggplant and throw it on some buns. So.
Here's the thing, though, dude. Soy, pea protein. There's bodybuilders. If you Google vegan bodybuilders, there's guys now that are just lifting and getting ripped just off of plants only. So don't necessarily jump to like. I get what you're saying.
Not the powder though. Is it just the plants or food or actually the soy protein powder?
It's like a powder. It's a processed powder.
Because I heard that causes that. I stopped taking that. I used to take that way back in the day because when I worked out, about 15, 20 years ago. I worked out since then, but when I worked out at that time, I was taking the soy protein because it was a little bit cheaper than the whey.
Yeah.
But I read it causes your body to produce estrogen and also heart problems. I heard from that. I don't know if that's true or not, but that's what I read back then, so I stopped taking it.
Well, in women, estrogen does regulate more heart rate and stuff like that. In men, not so much, but it's not good. But also, you have to have a lot.
Yeah,
the study I read said you have to have a lot of it. Like you'd have to have like 9 or 10 shakes a day to get to that level.
I was crying a lot more watching movies and stuff.
You sure? It just wasn't because you're a pussy? I'm just kidding. I'm just fucking with you, man. Sorry. No, I don't know, man. Like I've always been a sensitive guy anyway, so.
Yeah, I still cry. Watch.
Yeah, I can still cry.
Certain movies, dramatic movies. I don't know. I just I'm empathetic. I put myself in that place of that movie I'm watching. I'm like, oh.
Yeah. So you already so again, I can only be on for this review. So you've already shot your load, right? It's just up to me now to review mine.
Shot my load. Yeah.
Yeah. Any last thoughts on Murphy's Stout? Does it have a widget like the Guinness? Is it nitro or?
Yeah, it's got the widget. Yeah.
It's got the yeah. Does it have that more?
Couldn't get a real good head on that one, but
yeah. But did it still have a smoother taste because of the widget? And did you feel like it was smoother?
Well, I mean, Murphy's. I never had a Murphy's without the widget, so I had it on draft before, so I don't know. It's been a long time since I had it on draft.
Well, compared to a stout that doesn't have the widget, was what I meant. Like if you were just to have.
I mean, yeah, it's definitely creamy and stuff. Yeah.
Okay, like if you were just to compare it to like a standard microbrew stout that wasn't nitro.
Yeah. It's very light, easy to drink, smooth, creamy. Yeah.
What was the ABV one more time? 4 point something?
4%. Yeah.
4%. All right. Yeah. So that's automatically going to be a little easier to drink too.
What's really funny though, when you get Bud Light drinkers and all that, they're like this, and Guinness are like, oh, I can't drink that. That's too heavy.
That's too. Oh, I'll get drunk. Oh my gosh, I'll be too drunk to drive, and it's like way lighter than what they're drinking currently, and you're like, what the fuck are you talking about? Which is why I mean, and I don't know, I don't even know what this little mascot's supposed to be. He's a little beehive headed guy, but like Imperial IPA. Let's see if I can. Yeah. 9.6%. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if any of the viewers know if they actually have a new beer just called Imperial IPA or if that's actually the dead whatever. Because
it may be.
That's the picture of the beer that they're showing for Dead Guy Imperial IPA. It just shows that picture and nothing else. Just that one.
Oh wait, no, check this out. Let's see if I can get this on here. This actually does say Dead Guy Imperial IPA. Yeah. So it is Dead Guy Imperial IPA. It's just a new label. It's like I think they're trying to be clever. They feature it just says it doesn't even say Rogue in the main, like this is how the can is faced. You just see this like skeleton on this beer barrel that's like dead with this like little beehive hat. Well, I will tell you.
That's the way they have it on Beer Advocate, just that picture of that side of the can. Yep.
So, all right. So let me give you a little information that Beer Advocate doesn't really give. This is definitely a West Coast style IPA. So it's not hazy. I've had it another time, and I forgot about. I just remember now that actually I had it like a few weeks ago when I was getting really bombed because I was like, oh, let me get something high ABV. It pours clear. It pours very deep red copper color. Because it's not hazy. It's not one of these like there's all these high ABV hazy out there that are like really what I mean. Those ones that are like they look like oatmeal poured into a glass and they're like super high. Have you ever had one of those like Imperial hazies that's like really chunky? Maybe not.
I have. We're getting some lag problems. I'm freezing. You're freezing. Oh. Everybody's freezing.
You seem good. You seem good now. Whoa.
I'm good now. Yeah.
Whoa. Yeah. Like there's some chunkies. So it's like West Coast. It's Arrogant Bastard. Have you had that beer from Stone?
God, I can't remember if I had that one or not. I know what it is. I can't remember if I ever had it.
So it's like an American strong ale or a barley wine, and that it's like very bitter. It's got a bitter taste followed by toffee, caramel, and like a bittersweet chocolate, maybe like a light bittersweet chocolatey. Yeah. Can you look up American strong ale on Beer Advocate really quick?
Yeah.
And then read the tasting profile from that. I think it's going to match what I'm talking about. Because I would say this is more of an American strong ale.
What's really weird is when I was in Florida, the Rouge ale, I used to find those in Florida. Here, I haven't seen any of them, I don't believe. I haven't seen them since those.
I haven't seen them at all. And then all of a sudden, these guys popped up in the normal. So there's this shelf where everybody's got one of these cans. Have you seen these super tall cans now? These 19.2 ounce. They're bigger. They're not 24 ounce, but they're bigger than a pint.
Right.
They're these. They call them stove pints. All the IPAs, and they're all like $3 ish. This was $3.49. But they have a bunch. They have one that's $2.79. They're all about $3. A lot of them are the New Belgium, Juice Rangers. Have you seen those?
Right. Yeah,
the juice ones. Stuff. Yeah, like pineapple juice and the orange juice one, and they're all like fruit punch. They're all like they seem more like. But anyways, what were you gonna say, man? You were about to say something.
I got your American Strong Ale. I'm just waiting for you to finish. Yeah.
No, tell me about American Strong Ale.
A catch-all style category for beers from 7% alcohol by volume and above. Some may even be as high as 20% ABV. As a result, color, aroma, and flavor characteristics will greatly vary. Some have similarities to barley wines and old ales. Barrel aging is certainly not out of the question. That's all it says.
Oh, well, that still follows, man. This is like so like a barley wine. Have you had a lot of barley wine, Shag Dog?
Barley wine.
Have you had like at least one or two? Have you had any?
I've had a couple. It's been a while. I don't like it, but
Right.
yeah, I've had a couple.
So it's almost like malt liquor, but if like you had hop resin in it. So it's like it's boozy and malty with a hint of bitterness, and it's got a smack on the tongue. It's not like, you know how you have like a Belgian triple or a quadruple, and you're like, damn, that was 11%. And you're like, wow, that went down easy. These beers tend to kind of smack on the tongue because they have a lot of hops put into it. And this is Rogue. I mean, they don't fuck around. They're a fucking real brewery.
Some American strong ales more than I do what you just said, quadruples and the triples or whatever. I like the American strongs more than that, actually.
Because the American strongs are going to be tobacco. I would describe them as like, this is non-barrel aged. If they're barrel aged, it's obviously going to be wood and vanilla and bourbon. But
yeah,
beers that have not been barrel aged in this category, I would say they taste like tobacco, earth, like orange pith, like basically bitter orange peel.
I wouldn't say it's my favorite style in my top 5, right? Because I'm not a big. I've had some that are okay, but there's some that I'm like, oh my god.
Well, I think American Strong Ale, Barley Wine, Imperial IPA, Triple IPA, all those could be wrapped up in the same category. It's basically just a non-hazy beer that's over 9% that has a lot of hop flavor to it.
Does strong ales have hop in it? A lot of hops, or
so they do for the bitterness, because the bitterness stays a long time more than the flavor. So you know they say a hoppy beer should be drank within 90 days, ideally.
Okay, yeah, it does say their IBU should be between 40 and 100 IBUs, actually.
Yeah, no, like but you're just shooting for the IBU. You know the hops are going to fade, but think about it. If you're basically making a thick, rich malt syrup, you're going to want the bitterness there to balance out the sweetness.
Well, also that maltiness is going to mask out that bitterness too.
True, but it won't seem as sweet though. You know what I mean? If it wasn't there, you'd be like, whoa, this tastes too sweet. But if the bitterness is there, it's masking it, but it's going to come across as balanced on your palate. You're going to be like, oh, wow.
Yeah, I never thought about that, because sometimes I get some strong IPAs or whatever. I'm like, wow, there's a lot of fucking hoppy, but that maltiness is masking some of the hoppiness. But I never thought the reverse out of it, that hoppiness is reversing the cover.
Yeah, no, we'll just think of it as a purely mathematical equation. That's what your tongue does. Your tongue is just balancing the acids to the sugars that's on its palate, right? Because IBU is International Bitterness Unit, which particularly measures alpha acids. So hops are literally, you want to get down to the nitty gritty. Hops, the bitterness you feel is an acid that's going on your tongue.
All right. It's like a battery.
Well, not quite, but science with Shag Dog. I like it. You should.
Science with Shag Dog. And then Jammer does his math sometimes, like Jammer math. He's like, oh, wait, he's doing his math in his head. I'm like, oh my god, get a fucking calculator.
Oh no, this is perfect for the YouTube clips you want to do, the like science with Shag Dog. I'll even do like, hold on, this is where you start editing. Science with Shag Dog. All right, take it away, Shag.
I wouldn't even know what to say. Beer science. Let me look it up.
Beer science. No, this is even funny. Beer science with Shag.
All right. Now I'll leave it to my assistant, JammerFan.
All right. Well,
yes, Professor Shag Dog.
Yes, Professor Shag Dog. Yes. Let me get that data. We're not sure. We're not sure on that. We're gonna have to get back to you on the conclusion of that particular.
It's in the science, y'all.
Yeah, science. Fuck yeah, science is cool as shit, right?
Drinking it with science. Pew, pew, pew.
Yeah.
We're drinking with science.
Drinking with science. Drinking with science.
I had multi beer and malt liquor. Drinking it with science. I had an IPA and something else.
Oh damn. If this was a rap battle, I just lost. I just lost the whitest battle of all time. There you go. That's where you start. That's where you start the edit right there. I just lost the whitest battle of all time. You just beat me in a white rap battle, and it was like undisputable, and it was also super white though. Yeah. It was super white.
Now, if I see, I'm not what do you call it, freestyle. I'm more of a writing it down. I gotta write it down and stuff, so I can't really freestyle too well. But
I know, but you won.
That was a white. You're talking about rapping and singing about science. That is a white rap battle.
It was a white rap, but you won. I'm just saying that you won, and I surrendered to you. Like that's how like white people fight. If you didn't die, if you didn't get shot, if you dueled with pistols and you got shot but you weren't dead, you just had to say like. You were like, all right, you won this disagreement, and I'm gonna go like seek medical attention, or you were dead.
You get hit once, you're like, all right, you win. Okay, yeah, I win.
Yeah, you're shot, and you very well may die anyway. But you've gotten shot, and that's what's happened, Shag Dog. You shot me. You shot your shot, and now I'm like Shag Dog. I don't take it personally. Go ahead and do what you got to do.
It's a white rap battle.
Yeah, no, it was a white rap battle, and I lost, and now I have to kind of like. Tend to my wounds. That's what I'm doing. But I'm still here, man. I still have some of this Imperial. I'm gonna go with the I guess I'm gonna rate this. That's all we have left, right?
Do it.
All right. So we've established what this beer is. It's kind of a double IPA, but at 9.6%. I mean, it's teeter-tottering on something a bit above the normal, right? At 9.6, like it's just. I mean, a lot of double IPAs are like 8%. Oh, it's a double IPA. Calling it a double IPA at 9.6 is starting to get a little syrupy at that point, Yeah,
I got a triple IPA. I'm not sure what the ABV is on it, but
probably they usually hit 10%. I had one that was 10.2 the other day. It was called like Cosmic IPA from WeldWorks, I think. But 10.2, but 9.6 isn't that far from 10.2 though. You know what I mean?
Right. Hey,
so,
I took one of our long videos the other day. It was like 55 minutes. I tried to edit it down. I only got it down to like 46 minutes. I was like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah. But, Jesus. You probably cut a lot of that out. I just go right when I start talking about like strong beers, just cut right to that.
One of these days, just for shits and giggles, I'm going to take one of our videos that we do together. I'm going to just edit all your parts out, and you're not going to say a word through the whole video.
Oh, thanks. Just remove me from just take it all out.
Oh, JammerFan, you had a lot of informative information at the end,
All right. Well, then it would just be masturbation, Shag Dog. You'd just be talking to yourself. At least you have somebody else here that's a human being.
I think that one of my roommates said today. That's all you do. You do beer reviews. You talk to yourself. You watch the beer review the next day. You edit the beer review. All you do is talk to yourself, listen to yourself, talk to yourself.
That's what. So I'm adding a little flavor to the taco, right?
Yeah.
I mean, what's wrong with the little pico de gallo?
Yeah, the taco got well seasoned today.
Oh shit! I don't even know what that means. But all right. So Rouge Imperial IPA. We now know it's actually called Dead Guy Imperial, and Shag Dog was right all along. I don't know why my phone won't fucking like. It says Dead Guy Imperial.
Yeah, I can see it.
It's hard to see, but I don't. Yeah, so we're on the same page. I guess they just call it a double IPA. I mean, 9.6% is very excessive. I mean, this is a beer you want to drink if you are fixing to get crunked. I mean, you're not going to age this. I'm not going to stick this in a beer cellar. It comes in a can. I'm not going to put this away for years to age it. Because that's one of the excuses of making a barley wine. It's super hoppy and bitter up front, but as it ages and the hop flavors fade, you know, you'll still get a tiny bit of a hop bite in 3 or 4 years or however long you age it, right? Up to 5 years, they say.
Yeah.
This motherfucker, it hits up front. It's 9.6. It was $3.49, which isn't bad for a 19.2% ounce beer of this strength, you know, in a high cost of living area.
How much was it?
So I would say, what?
How much did you say it was?
$3.49.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, high cost of living area. That's pretty cheap, I guess. Yeah, there's some beers here. I get these, I don't know, 16 here, 16 ounces. Some of these 16 ounces here, I'm paying like $4 or $5 for some. At this one place, pretty expensive I go to. I'm like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, and it says $3.49, and it's you know how like Indian reservations, like if you buy stuff there, it's like lower taxes and you pay less.
Yeah.
There's a place in my city. There's a little island where it's like in the middle of the city. There's a circular island where somehow, and it's some kind of government fuckery, because governments are inefficient and stupid and weird. Where
don't worry, Doge is going to take care of that.
Yeah, where they don't pay city taxes within this like little circle. And so there's all these businesses that jammed into that circle, and it's like this hub of business in the area because
no taxes.
Instead of charging 7.4% tax, they only charge 3.7.
Okay.
So there's a liquor store there. So every time I buy something, it's 3.7% less than anywhere else I could buy it in town because it's in this circle.
Oh, that's good. Here it's like 8% sales tax or some shit.
Yeah, so I'm only paying 3.7. And they have you ever heard of Genesee Lager? It's from Genesee Beer in New York.
The lager, yeah, I think is that the red and white can or red, white, and black?
It's the red and white can.
Yeah.
So guess what they sell that? So they break. So are you familiar with the practice of liquor stores taking a 30-pack and breaking it apart and taking? I worked at a liquor store. They have an employee with a 6-pack rings and they'll ring it out and they'll sell it as 6-packs. Are you familiar with this practice?
I didn't know that. No. So they take a 30-pack and break it down to 6-packs.
Yeah, so they can have a cheaper price on it in the store.
Yeah.
So right now they sell 6-packs of Genesee Lager for $3.99 a 6-pack.
Okay. How much does a 30-pack cost?
They just 5 times that much, 6 times 5, so or 6 times 4. So so that's 24. It's $22.90, I think. So
they're making a little bit of a profit off this.
Yeah, it's a little bit off. It's like $22.99 or $21.99 for the 30-pack. It's a couple bucks off, yeah. Okay. But they're selling it at because they're just ringing it out like they're still, and they go through a lot, and because of that, it's pretty fresh because they sell so much of it. So sometimes one of my best bets, if I just want to get a buzz and get some beer, I'm just going for like, and the honey brown was the same price, but they recently raised the honey brown from $3.99 to $7.99, and I was like, what? So
that's crazy. Yeah, price.
But I think we're going to see some bumps, and I'm not blaming Trump because bumps take a long time. People are blaming the tariffs already, but I will support Trump when I say this. I think tariffs take 3 to 6 months to kind of go into effect, because people buy stuff, stores buy product months in advance. So if they're raising product, that means they're just price gouging for fear. Right.
I tell myself and I tell my parents, not to worry about stuff like that, because even if it goes bad, guess what? 4 more years, they're going to elect somebody else. Yeah, see what they could do to fix it. And then in 4 years after that one, hey, guess what? We're gonna fuck this guy suck too. Let's get somebody else. Or it might get better, then it might get worse. I don't even worry about the shit anymore. I'm tired of it. It's all a scam anyhow. It's a two-party system. It's a scam. It's a divide and conquer system.
Well, I mean, that's a dark way of looking at it, but I mean, I agree in some aspects. I also think that both sides of the same can be a potent weapon to make everybody apathetic. Because if you just tell everybody both sides are the same, voting means nothing, don't go vote, it's not going to count. I think that you have to still realize your vote still counts and that you need to vote. So
now, the good thing about Trump is he's going to do what he thinks is best. He don't care. I mean, might have some people advise him, but he's on the final thing. But then again, I look at him; he's not that smart politically, business-wise, maybe. Politically, not. And somebody might advise him on something, and he might just do it because he thinks that person is politically on his side or smart. I just get the feeling sometimes he's not being informed well about some things. I don't know.
I don't know. I think that's fair, man. I've actually had some great conversations with Trump supporters lately who are willing to just have a conversation. They're saying, hey, let's take like inherent politics out of that. Like, hey, let's talk about it, but like, let's not be angry like we are you right now. Like, let's not like attack each other and be like, oh, you fucking MAGA fuck. Like, like you fucking Nazi. Like, how can we have a conversation if I start like that?
Liberal communist motherfucker.
Yeah. Well, I am. I'm a horrible liberal communist motherfucker. You'd be right in saying that. But in a normal situation, Shag Dog. No, but I'm gonna while we're still filming, Rogue Dead Guy. I mean, they classify this, I think, as a Imperial IPA. Which normally is what would you say the ABV normally of an Imperial IPA is? What would you expect if you have an Imperial IPA? What would you think it is?
Most people tell me it's like 8%, but I heard some people say 7, so I don't know. Let's see what Beer Advocate says. Imperial IPA. Let's just look it up.
All right, 9.6 seems high, right?
Yeah,
I guess that's where I'm getting. 9.6 seems a little high.
American IPA, they got Beer Advocate 5. Wait, this is American IPA. You want the
5.1?
Oh, you want the Imperial, right? I'm on the American. My bad. Imperial. Where the hell?
Imperial. It's probably to me it's 8% and up, but on Beer Advocate it might be like 7.5 or 6.8 or something.
They have 7% to 12%.
7%. Yeah, I knew they'd be pussying out like that.
But the funny thing is American IPA, they had whatever it was, 5 point something to 7.5%.
So let me ask you this. What would you personally think based off of your massive experience in having beer? What would you
ABV? I mean, maybe on some of those low ones, if it has a crap load of hops, maybe that pushes it to the Imperial IPA.
What would you say, like 8.5 is more the benchmark?
I would say 8 or 8% probably. Only those
8%.
7 and 7.5. I would only say if that's like really high IBUs, like 90 or 100 IBUs.
Yeah. Otherwise, it has to kind of be at like 8 or something, right?
Right. That's what I would think.
All right. Yeah. I okay. You're very wise, man. You're very wise in the beer realm. I like that.
Yeah, anything below 8, I would only 7 or 7.5. I would only count that as an Imperial if it's really high IBUs. I mean, like 90, 100 IBUs. One of those really super hoppy ones. Which I don't know if you could do that with the ABV or not. Super high.
Hey, does it list, since you've got all these crazy resources? Does it list the does the now that we know it's called Dead Guy Imperial? Does it list the IBUs? Because it doesn't on the can. And I'm wondering what the IBUs for this not gross, but this thing is cloying. I will say this beer isn't gross, but it's cloying.
No, it doesn't have it on Beer Advocate. No.
Give it 10 minutes.
Okay, because it's been way more than 20 minutes.
All right.
Yeah, it's been way more than 20 minutes, mister. It's been 49 minutes.
No, yeah, we got some burritos at the store, and she's like, "Are you going to eat these, or are you going to put them in the fridge?" And I'm like, "I'm going to eat them." So I'm on a burrito timer. But Shag Dog, Spitter Swallow beer review was important. But sorry, yeah, we're in the final minutes. So do you know that? Did you figure out the IBU? I was distracted.
No, Beer Advocate doesn't show what the IBUs is for that one.
I'm going to say it's probably 80 to 100. What I would guess.
Could be.
And you know me, I'm an experienced reviewer. So I'm going to give this a minus. And what do you call a it's not a full swaff, it's not a swarter, and somewhere in between there's some like kind of weird realm in between a swaff and a swarter.
Well, swarter is a swallow and a half. A swaff is a swallow. Well, swaff is a swallow and a half. Swarter is a swallow and a quarter. So I guess I don't know. In between
an 8?
Oh, you're talking
about a swate?
No, because that would be even higher.
Or is that less? Is that less?
A swarter and a swaff. A 33rd, a 33rd, right?
Why don't we just call it good? We just say it's a good beer.
I would say just say it's a swaff or a swarter. Just give it a swaff.
All right. I'll just give it okay for the respectability of this video. I'll go a swaff, A minus, and I'll say my only only bad thing I could say about it, my only, I don't know what you would call that, like a criticism of the beer would be that it's a little bitter. It's got that pine sap. It's got too much of the pine sap. You know what I mean? Where it's too bitter, and you drink it, you're like, oh, whoa. But it's also it's young. It was this was canned on January 12th, 2025, and this is a beer that's perhaps meant to last for years.
Right.
It's built like a barley wine, Having it this early, maybe giving it because a lot of the toffee and caramel notes I would expect were blown out of the water by being so bitter and it being so like when it's fresh, it's like, oh man, it's like an Imperial IPA or something, but like really strong,
like a pungent dead IPA.
Yeah, 9.6. You saw it, 9.6. But all right. Well, if you do more videos, I will comment, I will watch, but I have to go on my way, sir.
All right. I appreciate you for joining. Yeah, I might do one or two more, and then I got to do a shot of Jameson, of course, for the St. Paddy's Day Drink and Fight Fest.
I will check it out. Maybe I'll rejoin. We don't know. We don't know what's going to happen. All I know is that I have
happy life. That's all.
Also, drinking water and eating between sessions is always a good idea. Yeah.
That's why I started about this time, because I figure if I do 2 or 3, then I probably dinner time about another hour from now.
Yeah.
And I could drink maybe 1 or 2 after that. Who knows?
Sure. We'll keep going, man. I'll watch, like, and subscribe. And if I jump back in, I jump back in. So this isn't the end. This is just I'm going to go take care of do self-care.
All right. Do self-care, and I'll see you later.
All right, man. Peace out.
All right. Bye. Hey, thanks for watching, everybody. Spitter Swallow Beer Review, JammerFan, Shag Dog. We'll see you on the next one. Check out the awesome intro or outro.